Was the Star Wars Resistance episode, Children of Tehar, a filler episode? I share my thoughts on this, but first I want to say I'm Mike and welcome back to Star Wars Speculation, where we love serious speculation but don't take it too seriously. But back on track here, the Children of Tehar episode opens with Team Fireball hard at work on their ship. With the character development in the last few shows, I thought Kaz would actually come through for the team and help them out. However, he fails yet again as a mechanic. We do, however, continue to see that Kaz is a good guy, and he's trying to find a way to help repay Tam for the broken part. This leads Kaz to the cantina with Niku, and they find out about the bounty on the Children of Tehar. I love how this moment felt exactly like an MMO. Your character needs money, so you go to the cantina to find a job. I mean, seriously, when are we going to get a Star Wars MMO? Anyway, next up we find ourselves with the actual Children of Tehar, and they are on the run and stealing food. I had to groan a little when the kids actually cross paths with Kaz, and they're able to escape so easily. Kaz being pushed and falling over BB-8 was pretty silly, and there simply could have been something better that happened in the story. But next up, Kaz and Niku head to find the engineers. I really dug the engineers under the Colossus. They just seem so Star Wars, like something wacky that George Lucas would just love to have in a show. And then at this point, I must admit I was a little surprised to see Captain Doza's droid showing up to collect Kaz. And although Kaz spends very little time with Doza, we do get to see Doza call on Captain Phasma. Afterwards, I thought this was a little surprising that Doza has like a direct line to Phasma. It's a little silly, but it's convenient for the story. However, we get some really interesting Captain Doza character development here when he tells Phasma about the children being spotted on the Colossus. We sort of get to see his true motivation, because despite the fact that Phasma says that the children belong to a high-ranking military family, I don't think Doza really buys that at all. And his actions show us that the Colossus and his family, Torah, they are far more important to him than these Children of Tehar. And there's some nice contrast here between the grizzled old Captain Doza and Kaz. Captain Doza has a lot of responsibility to the people on Colossus, and he's trying to get in good with the First Order, so he simply doesn't see the value of these two Children of Tehar. Whereas the young and somewhat naive Kaz wants to help these kids no matter what, even if he doesn't get the credits. Which I like. Again, it adds to that point that Kaz is a great guy. He's got great intentions. So next up, the engineers come through for Nico and Kaz, and they find the Children of Tehar. Kaz and Niku find out from the children that they're survivors from the planet Tehar, and that Kylo Ren in the First Order destroyed their home. I love again at this point how Kaz makes a naive promise that, hey, everything's going to be okay. But moving on here, we got to see our first look at Commander Pyre. He's the golden stormtrooper, and I thought he actually looked pretty cool in action. Pyre and the two stormtroopers chase the Children of Tehar, and I absolutely loved the ending here where the Children of Tehar are able to escape, using the engineers to jump into the water instead of the Children of Tehar, and then having them slow down their life signs. Well, I thought that was a really cool idea for Kaz to come up with. And I always love it in stories when we learn something about creatures that maybe seems meaningless, like how the engineers can go into a sort of hibernation, and then it's used by Kaz and becomes a big deal later in the story. So I thought that part of this episode was really well written. And lastly, here we get Kaz checking in with Elo Atsi. It was really cool to get to see him again. Remember, he was named specifically by J.J. Abrams after the Beastie Boys album Hello Nasty. Plus, I really like the contrast from the beginning of the episode where Kaz isn't having this success as a mechanic, but in the end, he's had some success as a spy. And this leads really well into the next episode where we know Poe is coming back to the Colossus to do some training with Kazuda. Which makes me feel that this wasn't a filler episode. It was a solid setup episode. I feel like with the mention of Kylo Ren, we will see him near the end of Season 1 now, and that the Children of Tehar are going to play a role in that. They are some important characters, and they'll be coming back for sure. Well, that's my thoughts on the episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know some of your predictions for Episode 7. Thanks for watching Star Wars Speculation, and may the Force be with you.